Hey everyone, this is Black Goldman 7 here, and today I'll be going over our matchup against Alpha for round 3, so let's just get right into it. So Alpha's team is Mega Manetric, Tornadus-T, Excadrill, Volcarona, uh, Slowking, Zatsu, and Sneasel, so Chestnut. So looking at it, it's a very bulky sand team if you think about it, so with regen core, and honestly, and a pretty good regen Volturn core, so yeah. So in terms of Pokemon, I'm thinking Alpha will bring. I'm gonna probably X out Sneasel because it's not as bulky, or not bulky, but it's not as offensive enough to take on some of my Pokemon. If it was a Z base, if this was a Z base format, then or Z moves are allowed, then I could see it. But you know, I just I just don't know. Like this thing is like pretty walled with some of my mons. Then you have Zatu, which is probably annoying because you know it could be brought here, but then it kind of conflicts with Torn. Even though like Manetric could probably protect it, but like I think Zatu might come here, just being a toxic spreader. Then you have Chestnut, which I think is more likely of the three from here, because it's pretty like it'll just set up spikes, you know, being able to set up or just go for Super Fangs, just wear down my team. But generally speaking, I think he's gonna bring like the top 3 or 6 Pokemon. Manetric is a good, similar to Zeraora. You could kind of like hard check Zapdos until it megas. By then, it's like, you know, I can check that. T is pretty annoying. It could probably be like a pivot spammer with knockoff, you know, even toxic. I could see this thing having toxic, but of course, I have to kind of play around it. So there's not really much I could do in that regard. The Gigalith sets up like it set up the stand for Alpha's team. I'd have Stealth Rocks, you know, pretty much be the setter. I think the two main threats here are going to be Volcarona and Drill because honestly, these two just threaten my entire team pretty hard. It's not so much these two; these can wear down my team. It's these two that are gonna like the ones that I have to watch out for, especially Sand Rush Drill. I have to, even though it could be Mold Break if he decides to not bring sand, I still think it's like very viable. Yeah. And Volcarona, I mean, Volcarona is just a pain in the ass if you think about it. It could just set up a Quiver Dance and it could just pretty much sweep my team. And Slowking is actually a good regen mon, and Loki a good CM user, to be honest. And I think that's that's one of the few Pokemon that could actually like set up on my entire team. So yeah, it could also be like a toxic spreader, but then again, whatever. So we'll just go through the team I have. We have Discharge Zapdos with Discharge Heatwave, Defog, and Roost. I mean, this Zapdos set, I just couldn't think of like a better one. I really wanted to have Toxic spread around this entire squad, but you know, I just felt like having Defog was better. And that might be that might be an incorrect mindset, but I don't know. Pretty much like the best option I have, really. I could have went with Rocky Helmet just to pick off, you know, just Force Chip on Torn. I do have Static, but he's probably gonna read that. Then I have this weird Magearna set with Heart Swap, HP Water, Dazzling Gleam, Shift Gear. Now, this is pretty much a very dumb Magearna set. I'm gonna admit this is a very dumb Magearna set, and it probably doesn't do work at all. But to be honest, the other Pokemon I have, like I just thought they weren't as strong or just have a weak matchup. Like Licky gets set up fodder for like Volcarona unless it's like toxic. I just go for the standard toxic stall route, which I honestly didn't think it'd be as viable here. And here I just decided, you know, I'm just gonna go for an offensive route, just try to cheese my way through a win if he tries to set up against me somehow with either Slowking or like Volcarona, even though he'll just probably just smack Magearna in the face with weakness policy. The weakness policy is only to try to set up versus like say a Manetric Gigalith. Basically, that's pretty much the idea. And force like, you know, Gigalith to come out and like pretty much I'm forcing a matchup with Excadrill in the sand already. So it's pretty much that's pretty much the idea. Force like him to set up for sand or whatnot. So I'm doing this hopefully that Gigalith's already like chipped down or whatever. So yeah. So then we have Entei, which honestly, thinking back at this, I think this is probably like I could have done better here, but you know, it's whatever. So I had Sacred Fire, Flare Blitz, E Speed, Fresh Claw. I honestly thought about running a was it Flame Charge and sub Flame Charge to actually set up here myself. I thought Crush Claw would be pretty nice to just break Slowking or Volcarona easily, or just any of his Pokemon. So yeah, as well as with E Speed just to pick off stuff in general. So yeah. Then you have Gallade, which is pretty much a very standard set, which is Straight Punch and Psycho Cut and Knockoff. And to be honest, this Gallade set, I honestly debated between Ice Punch and Psycho Cut. I just felt that Psycho Cut was better long term over like some other stuff. But I ended up like just it was kind of a toss up between Ice Punch and Psycho Cut. Because I thought, you know, maybe the chance to crit something was pretty invaluable. But then again, I have bulk up, so yeah. Then you have Mudsteel with Rocks, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Toxic. I honestly wanted this thing to have Rest, but it was like the way the team was built, it was kind of too quirky, and this was one of those teams I just built like last minute, so I just decided just to go for a standard team build here. And honestly, it's uncreative. Except the Megairna, so yeah. Then lastly, we have Hydra, which is honestly the one Pokemon I worked on the most. And I ultimately decided on this spread. Yeah, I know it's simple, but you know, it's whatever, so. I just wanted enough to outpace, you know, Drill. And I just wanted to creep Volcarona as much as possible. But even though it's very likely that he's just gonna be bulky Volcarona. Like, bulky Volcarona alone can just be a pain in the ass. So I just felt that Rock Tomb was just nice. Especially if I'm able to set up rocks and then I could just pick it off with Rock Tomb. And Dark Pulse Flamethrower is just there for the respective targets. So Gigalith will be really annoying to take down initially, so yeah. So yeah, that's the team. And honestly, not my best team I built on a last minute thing, but to be honest, I could have done a way better with this squad, as you'll see, so. Alright, so we're back. And already this is gonna be an interesting game because we pretty much brought our like best mons possible. I mean, he brought his top 6, I brought my top 6 for Mudsteel. But Mudsteel is a champ, so like Secretariat. Oh, just keep going. I'll just keep trying, even though it will never win the race. So yeah, maybe I don't know. I don't know the history of Secretariat, so don't blame me on it. You know what? Just crucify me in the comments about that. So, so looking at his team, pretty much brought the Sand Mode, Regen Core, the Bug, the Dog. So already I'm thinking to myself, what am I leading here? What am I leading? What am I leading? So I'm thinking maybe Mudsteel is Zapdos lead, but that's probably obvious. There's also Entei Gallade, but I don't want to. I need Entei like healthy as possible, and I even have to remove rocks, possibly. So on the Volcarona, so that's kind of bad. So yeah, thankfully it doesn't have spikes, so that's pretty good. So, anyways, I'm just gonna go off with the Mudsteel lead. Go with Clef as he goes for the Torn, and to be honest, this is kind of a weird matchup here because Mudsteel is one of those Pokemon that. Probably is better just to go off against the Excadrill, so yeah. So right now I'm just gonna switch the hell out of here, as he actually just goes for the Toxic, so yeah. My suspicions were kind of correct, but honestly, there was nothing really I could do, because just bring Toxic versus like very bulky teams and you just wear them down, yeah, with sand, so. But to be honest, right now, I'm just trying to think about how the hell I get out of the situation, so yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I could like, just get some chip damage on something. It's not... Alright, so I have to pause there. So, anyways, I just go for like, pretty much I just go for the, well, he pretty much, long story short, he just goes for Toxic on my Zapdos. and I just go make a prediction and go for the heat wave, and I'll just drill and get some good chip damage. And to be honest, this is like pretty much best case scenario for drill, because I kind of know now that this is like AV, so all I need is just to get this thing further chipped down. However, at the exchange of losing Zapdos' HP a little bit, so yeah, it's not that good. So we gotta get up rocks basically ASAP. So here I just go, I believe, hard like Mudsdale as he goes for the Slowking, and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, you know what, I need rocks up ASAP. So as he tries to go for the prediction, he goes for the Thunder Wave. Probably predicting Magearna, but to be honest, I really didn't want to switch in there. So here, this is where I really want to Toxic this Slowbro or Slowking. But obviously this would have been better to have Toxic on Zapdos. And honestly, this is gonna come to bite me in the ass because, as you'll see, I try to go for Toxic. I do get Landat, thankfully, but of course he's gonna get a lot of chip damage on me. But I kind of figured it was like kind of a good exchange in a way, because I wanted to go for wear down the Slowking out of the way. So yeah, it's whatever. So I go back to Zapdos as he goes for the Thunder Wave. And to be honest, I don't mind this. Here he goes to Gigalith, and here this is probably the most important turn. I gotta explain this because this thing doesn't have Sandstream. Gigalith does not have Sandstream. And already, I'm like thinking to myself, wait a minute. Like, what the hell? I'm like thinking to myself, what? Why doesn't this Gigalith have Sandstream? And I'm checking the replay, or not the replay, but the turn order, and I'm like, wait, that means Joel is a sand based? And well, kinda is. Because it doesn't say, how like Mold Breaker just says it breaks the mold, like the very first thing it'll say. Before during like its switch out, or when it switches in. And I'm like, so this means Gigalith is like kinda doesn't have that special defense raise, and Jill doesn't have the speed raise, and I'm like, well, already this makes Magearna a very, 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 very likely win con. And I already can see that if Torn has Heat Wave, or even Manetric has like Flamethrower, I can pretty much set up and probably win if I could just get in the right time. So yeah, either way, I don't want to stay against this Gigalith, and I'm just gonna go hard Gallade. As he goes sort of set up with the rocks here. Here, I'm just gonna go for the knockoff as he goes for the Torn. Unfortunately, I have to switch out here, and he does rocks up on the field. So, and to be honest, he switches out to makes a great play, goes to Manetric, as I have to go to Zapdos. So yeah, that's kind of bad on my end. So now this Manetric's in versus the Zapdos. However, this is very interesting because, well, if you think about it, like this Manetric has to kind of have, I do have a Seismitoad on my roster, so I'm thinking to myself, maybe, I could just play around this, and maybe he's not Hidden Power Ice, maybe he's Hidden Power Grass, so I could just play around with it, use Hydreigon as a pivot, and I think I just stay in here first and just try to recover up as much as I can. He goes for the Thunderbolt as I recover up with a Guaberry, and I just go for Roost. And I know, trying to get as healthy as possible with Zapdos. Here I go to Hydreigon as he's gonna go for the Thunderbolt or Flamethrower here. And it turns out this Manetric actually has a tech option. As you'll see, it has the Signal Beam, and I'm like, oh, great. And this is kind of good and bad at the same time, because one, I know this thing doesn't have Toxic. Two, I kind of know that this thing may have Hidden Power whatever, and probably like Grass if you think about it. So, and it's not Overheat, so I'm thinking to myself, what can I do? And honestly, at this point, I just try to this is pretty much a dumb turn if you think about it. And I decided to go for Magearna, just to see what he wants to do against this thing. And I'm just gonna try to set up here, and see if he's gonna go for the Flamethrower, as he's just gonna, maybe he'll try to boost me. as he does, and I get to +2 special attack, and I go for +2 like speed. So now I'm faster than Scarf Volcarona. I'm faster than this Manetric, and I can pretty much kill this thing right off the bat. So, and this Gigalith could actually, I could kill, like, basically speaking, I could kill Gigalith or like I could kill Manetric, or right now, or I could just two-shot something else on anything in this team. So at this point, I could pretty much, like, I get a kill right now. So, and with my speed, he has to switch out if he wants this preserve. Unfortunately, I think he goes on to the wrong Pokemon, but I think I kind of put him in a weird checkmate spot because without the sand, like, he's not going to be able to take this, and with the sand, he would have been able to outspeed me with Drill. But yeah, as you'll see, like, Magearna is just pretty much gonna go all in. I'm at +3, and this Gigalith, or this Excadrill is gonna take a hidden Power Water. I'm at +4, and yeah, you could probably see where this is going. Like, dazzlingly. And I'm at +5, and Volcarona sent out, which, honestly, at this point, it's already, like, taking chip, and at this point, I pretty much win already. But with Zapdos, as long as I get rid of this Manetric, but, you know, yeah, this is pretty much game. So, yeah, with all the intense music aside, that is game. So, and we made it to round 4. So, honestly, I don't really feel bad about doing that, like, because I honestly could have, like, honestly, I kind of prepped bad. I kind of played kind of semi-poor. But to be honest, the minute I knew that, like, he didn't have Sandstream, like, on his squad, on his, like, Gigalith, and it's kind of, like, bad because, as well, kind of for him, because, like, apparently he was, like, sort of testing his team out, and he did have Sandstream, but for some reason, like, he didn't, so that was just unfortunate on his end, because, like, I don't know how that happens when you're just testing your team and then all of a sudden, hey, you don't have the Sandstream. That's just, like, very weird. And, yeah. Honestly, like, I probably didn't deserve to win this game, but it just happened. Like, because if he had, like, Volt Switch, he probably would have played around it pretty easily, but then again, it would have been the same situation, because he would have probably, like, it would have been the same situation, because, like, maybe he would have been able to, like, two-shot Magearna with, like, with Volt Switch plus Earthquake from Gigalith, but he didn't have it, so, and I thought he was just gonna go for Flamethrower and just, you know, sack Manetric, which was pretty much what I was banking on. So yeah, that was pretty much the whole surprise factor there, and yeah, with Magearna's speed, I believe I was at, what? I believe I was, like, plus, like, what? Like, okay, I think I was, like, 500 speed, which outspeeds, like, Scarf Drill and Scarf Volcarona, so yeah. And I for sure outspeed Manetric, so, I don't outspeed, like, Drill unless I go for a second, like, shift gear, so yeah. But that one I have to call it, so. So anyways, we pretty much beat, like, Alpha, or Tower Zone. So, anyways, I guess you could say GG, so. As we, move on to the next round, so. We're battling Roggen. Mr. Roggenbogen. I don't know if I'm saying it right, or whatever, so. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this game, or whatever, so. I'll see you guys next time.